Police officer in New Jersey under investigation tonight. This after he was videotaped hitting a Rutgers University student while trying to put him in handcuffs. The student, with 4 cops from New Brunswick trying to subdue him, is hit 4 times by one of the officers. So, was it justified or is this excessive force? New Jersey reporter Tony Yates with the story. She's at Rutgers for us. Tony.
Bill, it started with an off-campus party that ended with a brawl of about 50 people early Saturday morning. New Brunswick police were called to break up the fighting. They say most of that crowd dispersed, but the 20-year-old Rutgers student Elliot Marks continued throwing punches, even throwing punches at police. Well, that videotape was posted on YouTube, and it picks up where police have Elliot on the ground. Marks is under that circle of cops. Listen to what one says to him.
Give me your head! Stop resisting!
And then this. One New Brunswick officer delivers blow after blow to the student. Marks' attorney.
I can't imagine a situation where a college kid is going to a college party, is laying down prone in the snow, and should be subject to 4, maybe 5, just what I can only describe as cheap shots to the face.
When it was over, the Rutgers psychology major looked like this.
It begs the question, if the man, Mr. Marks, is on the ground face down, why exactly do those shots need to happen?
A statement from New Brunswick police reads in part about Marks. He was continuing to fight other people. He then fought the police, and they arrested him. But is this over the top, above and beyond? Eyewitness News watched the YouTube video with John Jay College criminal justice professor and former cop John Shane.
They tell him to stop resisting on 3 separate occasions. And once he's in custody, force de-escalates. So they're not using force anymore. It's a very well-restrained and disciplined use of force.
Not at all what some Rutgers students said to us after watching the video.
It's pretty screwed up. I mean, a police doesn't have the right to just beat up a student like that. For them to claim he was resisting arrest when you could blatantly see him punching him, that's wrong.
It's within the cop's right to pull back and swing if he is actually resisting, but I didn't see any resisting.
Marks is charged with resisting arrest, aggravated assault, obstruction, and having a fake ID. Now, Marks' attorney says he's not jumping to conclusions, not calling this police brutality outright. He says he wants to see the outcome of the police investigation. If they're going to pursue those charges against his client, then he will decide whether he's going to pursue his own charges or if he's going to file suit against New Brunswick police. For now, we're live in New Brunswick.
It was the height of the Cold War. U.S. intelligence services were starting to worry that the Russians had discovered people who possessed unheard-of psychic powers.
For a number of years, CIA had been tracking Soviet work in the so-called ESP area. And they're really concerned because the Soviets, including the KGB, were spending millions of dollars every year on this kind of phenomena. They're very concerned about, well, what could be being done to us. They were specifically interested in whether individuals could extract information or get information from remote sites or from hidden material. And so it was critical to them to find out, just what abilities do people have.
Word had reached the CIA about an Israeli stage performer who had the talents they were looking for. Uri Geller was brought to the prestigious Stanford Research Institute in San Francisco for testing. 2 laser physicists subjected Geller to a long series of controlled experiments. In March 1973, they went public with their results.
This film describes a 5-week investigation with Uri Geller, a young Israeli. Nothing has been restaged or specially created.
The film contained some astonishing claims. The scientists said that time after time, Geller was able to telepathically detect a hidden object.
You will note he is very pleased with finding this target.
Using his psychic powers, he was apparently able to change the weight of a piece of metal.
The upper 2 traces are apparently due to Geller's efforts.
And over lunch in the SRI canteen, Geller bent dozens of spoons for the scientists. But his most incredible success was his apparent ability to telepathically read hidden drawings.
Day after day, he would come into the laboratory and be able to reproduce a drawing that I had made at home and had in an envelope. And day after day, Uri would be able to make absolutely remarkable copies of that drawing.
Here, the experiment is repeated.
Certainly with regard to the ability to reproduce hidden material, there's no doubt in our mind that Geller could do that.
This is the drawing that Geller has made to correspond to the target object. As you can see, he is quite elated about getting the right answer.
We had no idea about how this stuff could be done. We're sort of like, where were people with gravity before Newton came along? I mean, gravity worked, clearly, but no one had an idea how. So similarly, here's some things that we saw worked and happened, but no idea how.
Uri Geller left SRI with a stamp of credibility. Leading scientists believed he did indeed possess unexplainable power.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Thursday, February 10th, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome everyone to part 2 of this news bulletin. I hope you enjoyed those videos, especially the CIA psychic research that was done. I didn't exactly allude to CIA, but basically it was the CIA that did the first remote viewing and the first remote viewing program in the United States. So anyways, this is a Philippine ex-general apparently commits suicide. Philippines, a former military chief apparently committed suicide Tuesday at his mother's grave, a dramatic twist in the scandal over accusations that the top Philippine generals skim money from the army to fund a lavish lifestyle. This next article from the Raw Story, man says ex-CIA agent Posada gave him explosives for hotel bombing. In an exclusive interview Tuesday, El Salvadorian man told the AP that a former CIA operative gave him powerful explosives and cash to carry out a 1997 hotel bombing in Cuba, and that was Odo Rene Rodriguez said that he was given C4 explosives and $2,000 by Luis Posada Corrales to enable the bombing at Havana's Melia Cohiba Hotel on August 3rd, 1997. He was later captured in Cuba with 3.3 pounds of C4 that he said was given to him by Posada. He said, truthfully, looking me in the eyes, he cannot say he does not know me, Rodriguez told the wire service. He does know me. He used me like a tool. So there you go. So next one up, documents show FBI warned of Murrah bombing. The federal government attempted in 2005 to reach a deal with bomber Terry Nichols to take the death penalty off the table in his Oklahoma murder trial if he admitted to making a warning phone call to the FBI the day before the 1995 bombing, according to new documents released under the Freedom of Information Act. So we have lots of news to cover still. At CIA, mistakes by officers are often overlooked. Go figure. So you can check that out. Links will be posted. Marine gets 6 years in prison for skimming $1.69 million from Iraqi aid. Then U.S. charges students with conspiracy. 11 Muslim students have been charged with conspiring to disrupt a speech given by Israeli ambassador to the U.S. at the University of California last year. U.S. embassies, foreign staff exploited. U.S. embassies in the Persian Gulf states are using low-level staff whose employers illegally confiscate their passports and provide them with poor living conditions. And we have Blagojevich wants missing phone calls recovered. Says Blagojevich says there are missing undercover tapes which can prove his innocence, and his lawyers have filed a motion in federal court asking the government to produce it. Here we go. Keep moving here. The Super Bowl flyover may have cost $450,000. Was it worth it? I don't know. Says here, jet loaded with millions in gold and cash seized by Congolese authorities, linked to Texas philanthropist. A Gulfstream jet seized by Congolese authorities, suspected of being used to smuggle gold from rebel-controlled strongholds, is apparently owned by a North Texas aviation firm owned by South Lake philanthropist David Desiree, records show. Then we have this, Tyson Foods to pay $5.2 million to settle U.S. claims, and what for? They agreed to pay in a settlement for allegations that a unit of the company bribed officials in Mexico to certify meat exports. So see, that's what it's all about. Federal agencies are basically there in order to shake down these corporations who really aren't liable for anything that they do. They just make millions and millions and billions of dollars, and then they make a small $5 million payout in order to make that problem go away. That's called fascism. It says prosecutors seek Italian prime minister's trial. It says Italian prosecutors are set to submit a request to a judge for a fast-track trial of Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi for his alleged abuse of power and sexual misconduct. And we have Haiti. Haiti's president confirms 3-month term extension. So they said President Rene Prevel will stay in office for 3 more months as his country chooses a successor in delayed election. And the problem is this. You have this individual right here who is a perfect candidate for the Haitian people. They could really use his help right now. Haiti issues ex-president new passport. The government of Haiti has issued a diplomatic passport for former President John Bertrand Aristide so that he can return to the country. And it looks like everything is good to go now. And if you want to know more about him, you can check out down here. It says he was forced out of the Caribbean in 2004 and is currently living in South Africa. He was the first democratically elected president of Haiti after, 30 years of the Docs, Papa Doc and Baby Doc. Aristide first came to power in 90, but was ousted only months later in a CIA military coup. And he said he was a former Catholic priest who returned to Haiti in 94 and served his term until 96 after the military regime relinquished power in the face of an imminent U.S. invasion. So he was reelected in 2000, but was forced out of office again early in 2004 following, again, a military coup backed by the CIA. So that's the Haitians' man right there. If they can get him in there, man, they'd be in a lot better shape. All ambassadors called back to Washington, so in an unprecedented move, apparently one that has never been happened before. Nearly all U.S. ambassadors to all nations have been called back to Washington for a summit conference. This event, mostly unreported, concluded on February 4th, 2011. You can check out the link for that. Rumsfeld, get this, Guantanamo, one of the world's finest prisons. So got HD TV, 3 meals, and king-size bed. Good to go. All right. Batwing drone bomber in test flight. It says U.S. Navy. Robotic Batwing bomber designed to take off from a U.S. aircraft carrier has passed its first flight on a debut flight in California, the U.S. Navy said on Saturday. Then we have drone will call aircraft carriers home. The Navy's X-47B, built by Northrop Grumman, won't need to be operated from land. It says it passes the early test, so that's good to go. Good job for the military-industrial complex, right? Keep moving forward. It says here, help, Google knows about my speeding ticket, and you can go in there and you can check out that. Little interesting article. Student punished over Ziploc bag as eco-fascists move to further control society. 6-year-old boy in Quebec was punished and excluded from a class contest because his lunch was made with a Ziploc bag. Bad slave. Arizona City to fingerprint pharmacy customers. So there you go. Forget your junk. The TSA wants to feel up your mind. It's been monitoring travelers' facial expressions and body language for the signs that they might be hiding something. As of March 2010, the TSA screening passengers by observational techniques or SPOT program had 3,000 behavioral detection officers in more than 150 airports. And eventually what they want is this. It's sunk $20 million, the TSA, into developing future attribute screening technology, a computerized version of the behavioral observation system that will use cameras to scan travelers' expressions and match them with digital database of micro-expressions. Of course, right? Like I say in most of my videos, what is the goal? To remove the human element out of everything. So eventually, these people that are getting paid at the airports to be these behavior expression technicians or whatever they are, security guards that look for your expressions to see if you're guilty. You may be hiding something, right? They're all going to be obsolete once the computers take over. So that's the ultimate goal. With the drones, get rid of the pilots. Get rid of, eventually they'd like to have robotic soldiers as well. U.S. because the problem is with humans, you have emotions, you have people that have, I don't know if you believe in afterlife or souls, but have a soul, and they may not want to kill children, and they may not want to do certain things that, these poor soldiers and officers and all that are being, having to do. And it's all in the name of terrorism and protecting our freedoms. While all the time we're basically losing our freedoms. We're less free than we've ever been before. So U.S. Customs strip search groped me. Stratford woman charges, so this woman is going to sue the TSA for a strip search. Martin Dixon launches new bid to restore order in Victoria's classroom. So you can join me. We'll return with this one. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.